Hello, welcome to weekly update number 20. It's kind of hard to believe I've been doing this for so long now, but I'm glad I've been doing it. Glad you've been watching, and I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. And with that said, let's just jump into it. I think it's going to be a relatively short one because I did not have a very busy week of reading and writing, but I did do a little bit. So, for reading, I am reading Shadows of Self. I have not gotten too far. I've read 3 chapters this week, and I'm going into chapter 7. But I will say, one of those chapters was like 3 times the normal size of chapters in this series here so far. So it was kind of like I read 5 chapters instead of 3. We'll just say that. Make it look like I read a little bit more, but I'm having fun with it. They've got some intrigue coming in. It looks like the person is using magic from old days, which is really cool to see because you haven't seen any of that yet in this series, and it was a thing that you definitely saw in the first series, so it's cool to see that coming back. So that is fun, and I can't wait to have more interesting stuff like that happen in this book. And yeah, I'm excited to continue. I think next I might go into the next book, maybe, but I think next I will go into check in the library and see if they've got Pet Cemetery and jump into Pet Cemetery. But also, other than that, I know that John over at Talking Story is doing they're doing a family read of Frankenstein, and they're like, anybody else that wants to go ahead and jump in the read, go ahead, and we're gonna discuss it. And I am definitely debating picking up Frankenstein. I don't know if I've ever read it. For some reason, my head is telling me maybe we've read some of it in high school, but I don't know if that's true. And the fact that I don't remember means maybe I should just go ahead and read it because it's a classic and I would love to get that under my belt. So yeah, I think I might check, see if the library has that as well, and jump into Frankenstein. That would be really cool for spooky season. Let me know what you're reading in spooky season, what you're reading right now. I'd love to have a conversation about it in the comments. And with that said, let's just jump into my writing. So, I am doing some revisions, as you may know if you've been watching these weekly updates. And this week I went over chapter 6 again, and then I went over chapter 7 and chapter 8, and I am quite enjoying this. Funny thing is, I thought by now one of the chapters I wanted to add would already be here, but there has not been a moment. These chapters are, it's definitely like there's no space in between, so I have not had a moment yet, but I think coming up soon, I think maybe even after the chapter I just finished might be the chance where I actually add one of the chapters I want to add. And it's an interesting process going through revisions because I've never done it before, so there might be at some point where I have to just edit one of the chapters I have to fit one of the others in my head. So I might have to like change the timelines of things happening slightly, but I don't know that for sure yet. We'll see when we get there. I have like 6 chapters in mind that I want to add that I think will really flesh out the story and make everything a little more, give it all a little bit more depth, and I think that will be good. so I really want to do it. So we'll see though. There might be some natural feeling moments where I can add these things in, because I know broadly in my head about where I want them to be, and I am definitely getting close to where I want the first chapter I want to add to be. So we'll see if I have to do any edits. It'll be a nice little learning moment. But yeah, that's what my writing was like this week. Some fun stuff. And for what I'm watching, I watched episode 2 of The Penguin. It's still really good. I'm quite enjoying that. It was a little bit intense. The relationship between Oz and Sophia Falcone is interesting, and it's going to become more interesting going forward, because they're yeah, it's hard to say without spoiling it, but that dynamic is going to be interesting going forward for sure. I'm excited to see more. And I also watched the newest episode of Agatha All Along, and it was a pretty cool episode actually. Aubrey Plaza's character's back in it, and there's some hints to who she is, and pretty sure I know who she is. I think there was like some leaks of Funko Pops and stuff that told who she is, so yeah, it definitely makes sense. These hints are huge towards that too, so definitely seems to be the case, and I'm enjoying it. I also started Luke Cage season 2. Watched the first 2 episodes of that, and it's interesting, I guess. There's a new villain guy that they've thrown in, and it's going to be interesting to see his deal. But it hasn't really gotten into much yet, so it hasn't really pulled me in a ton, but I am still interested, so I will continue. And that's what I've been watching. Let me know what you've been watching. If you have any requests of what I should be watching, go ahead and drop them. I will say I don't give myself a ton of time to watch stuff. I just do it here and there. So that episode of Penguin I've been watching with my brother. We've been doing that on Friday. And then Agatha I watched yesterday, just 1 episode, and then Luke Cage I watched today, the 2 episodes. So basically Saturday, Sunday, I give myself like a couple episodes. So be slowly watching, but watching some things. And I actually yesterday played Cyberpunk. I played from like 7:30 to like midnight. Did a whole lot of side stuff. I'm trying to do as much of the side stuff as possible because I really want to do a big playthrough this time and do as much of the stuff as I can. And I also want to do a lot before I get into Phantom Liberty, but I am excited to get into Phantom Liberty. I just did some stuff with Takamura where we're talking about the whole parade plan. We're gonna do that whole stuff, and yeah, I'm having fun. Cyberpunk is a really cool game, and definitely now since they've polished things up, if you've never checked it out, you should probably hop into it if you're a fan of that aesthetic. It's very, very cool. And with all that said, that is it. So let me know what you've got going on. I'd love to talk to you in the comments, and hope you enjoyed it. And go ahead and like the video if you haven't, and subscribe if you want. And I hope to see you in the next one.